Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Tuesday Night Live stream with Chris Q. Murphy. I'm your host, Chris Q. Murphy. Welcome back if you've been here before. Welcome if you've never been here before. We are so excited to have you on this fantastic Tuesday evening. I hope the world is treating you well, at least as well as it's treating us over here in beautiful Brooklyn, New York. If you want to give a shout out or a hello in the chat, go ahead and do that. If you want to shout out requests, maybe we can make them happen. If you want to talk directly to one of our guests later on this evening, I'm sure we can make that happen too. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and get some things started. I recently came back from a little trip, a trip both away from the show and away from my life for just a moment. I got to say, it was pretty magical to take a step away, get my head together and do something just a little bit different. So, I'm kind of getting my head back on my shoulders at the moment. That feels a little weird. Not a bad thing, but a little weird nonetheless. But here I am. Whew. And I was away in Princeton, New Jersey for a couple of days, which is a very formative and important place in my life. And I was happy to get to be there and reflect, because as many of the people know, that are out there and watching right now, I recently wrote a cycle of songs about the time that I spent in Princeton, New Jersey. I recently participated in February album writing month, and during that month wrote a whole bunch of songs about my history in Princeton, New Jersey, sorted as it may have been. So to write those songs after not having been there for a very long time, and then to actually get to return to that place and kind of revisit some of the places that provided me with those images was really something magical, and it gave me an opportunity to reflect in a way that was different than just singing these songs. And as a result, I feel like I'm coming away with a slightly better understanding of what these songs are all about. I feel like maybe I'm singing them in a slightly more interesting way. So I'm going to go ahead and give one of them a try just to kind of start the show off tonight. I'm going to play a couple before we get our guests up in here. This is a song called First Day of Spring. It goes something like this. A breakfast nook in vinyl, a flimsy plywood bench, L-shaped but left unpainted by the former tenants. Looks out the window or absolutely nothing. There's a half-drunk bottle filled with half-cheap blended scotch. Brothers making up war stories, citing stats and counting shots, till they remember absolutely nothing. Nothing, but we swear those days were glorious, sparkling hours with diamond kings, and the songs and laughs uproarious, and every day was the first day of spring. Over by the newspaper kiosk, behind the laundromat cafe, an invisible ice cream magician singing songs about salad days, goes through the motions but feels absolutely nothing. Nothing, but we swear those days were glorious, endless hours with diamond kings, so many songs and joys uproarious, and every day was the first day of spring. Feel the alternation between shadow and light, and there's very little space left to run, and you'll never feel half stuck or half out of your mind. You'll always be chasing the sun, always be chasing the sun. There's a tender moment after twilight before dreams, Only then can memory beckon and make splinters out of seams, somehow both real and absolutely nothing. Nothing, but we swear those days were glorious. Endless hours of diamond canes, endless songs and joys uproarious, and every day was the first day of spring. But we swear those days were glorious, sparkling hours of diamond canes, endless songs and joys uproarious, and every day was the first day of spring. Thank you so much, Internet and Universe. Thank you for letting me run that one by. And now check it out. I'm going to play one more that's the special request of our guest tonight. If you're tuning in on Instagram, you're going to get booted off in a couple of minutes. And I'm going to ask you to move over to the other feed so you can see both me and my special guest. I'm just giving my Insta fans a little special treat because they haven't seen me in a minute. But I'm so excited for what we have coming up later this evening. I'm going to do one more song for you. Again, this one was requested by tonight's guest. I am surprised to say that while I have been doing this live stream consistently with only, I want to say, 3 weeks total off between the end of April of 2020 and now, so almost a year, I have not yet played this song. So I'm excited to play it tonight. And I thank you all. Thank our guests so much for asking me to play it. This one's called People. Brian Tosi, the only one at my 6th birthday party. He was the only one who'd had chicken pox before. But then a few wrestling seasons later, too few guitar lessons later, on different sides of the high school auditorium, as he shouted, "Go home, faggot," while I played some song I wrote. Now white boys with thick necks and square jaws, short haircuts, scare the shit out of me. It's been going on for so long that this song makes my shrink wanna quit on me. As she can understand it, so I can understand it. Why do white boys with thick necks and square jaws and short haircuts scare the shit out of me? Mike Colicchio, shortstop on my B-League baseball team. We played G.I. Joes up in his room back in the second grade. So I followed him from junior health class when he said those queers deserve it, shouting, those most homophobic are themselves most likely gay. Which I knew would make me like him more. But I knew he'd hate himself. And now white boys with thick necks and square jaws, short haircuts, scare the shit out of me. It's been going on for so long that this song makes my shrink wanna quit on me. 'Cause if she can't understand it, then I can't understand it. Why do white boys with thick necks and square jaws, short haircuts, scare the shit out of me? Suburban social climate, bourgeois dreams are faded. I'm walking in a straight line. Are you walking in a straight line? You'd think that history and cities would shake this shit out of me. After all these white people, square-jawed people, short-haired people, long-haired people, freaky people, city people, so many people, soccer people, football people, Latinx people, Latino people, black people, API people, after all these people, all these people, are they people? Are they people? Scare the shit out of me. People, scare the shit out of me. Are they people? Are they people? Were they people? Were they people? Were they people? Thank you. It's been a minute since I've done that one, and now I remember why. I'm going to take a breath, grab a drink of water, and we'll get on with the show. Thank you so much to tonight's guest for asking me to play that song. For those of you that are watching on Instagram at the moment, I'm going to have to bid you a fond farewell. If you'd like to watch the rest of the show tonight, you can jump over to facebook.com/ChrisQMurphy, youtube.com/CQMurphy, or twitch.tv/ChrisQMurphy. Instagram people, thanks for hanging out for a minute. Everybody else, let's get on with the show, shall we? So, like I said, that song was requested by tonight's guest, and for the millionth time, I'm excited that we have a guest with us tonight. It has been an incredible blessing for me to get to talk to so many different people about their life as songwriters, about their process as songwriters, and it's made me feel a little more like normal, because one of my favorite things to do in the universe is to sit around a bar and bullshit with songwriters while we listen to other songwriters. It's some call it dirty habit. I call it Wednesday or Thursday, depending on the year. And it's an incredibly important part of my life. And I wouldn't give it up for anything except apparently COVID. Over the last several years, I've been very lucky to be a member of the big city folk community here in New York City, helmed by the fearless Niall Connolly, who welcomes us all into his, I guess he calls it a safe place for new songs. It's a community unlike any other, where we are supported and loved, but critiqued when we need it. And it's every week is Old Home Week, and every week somebody's got something new to share, and it's pretty magical. And the great thing about it is that sometimes when you're spending time at a place like this, you wind up learning a lot more about yourself than you do about yourself as a songwriter. You learn a lot more about your life, the choices you've made, the things that you've done, again, not only as a songwriter, but as a person. And for me, a lot of that has to do with as a parent. And over the last several years, I've really had some incredibly enlightening conversations with tonight's guest, not only about songwriting and performing said songs, but also about the act of parenting and what that can look like in the context of being a working songwriter in New York City. I always find those things enlightening, and I've sorely missed the ability to sit around and drink too much while talking to tonight's guest. He has a brand new EP out under the artist named Magnolia Sky. We'll go ahead and talk more about that later on. But ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and welcome tonight's guest, Manu Haladi. Manu, how you doing?
Hey, how's it going, Chris? How are you?
It's going. It's so good to see you.
Yeah,
What's
can you hear me
news?
okay? I just got the mic set up. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can see you.
Cool.
It's all good.
Cool. Yeah, it's good to. Thanks for playing that song. It was.
Oh, you're welcome.
I think that might have been one of the first songs I ever heard you play, if not the first. It was one of the early. It was at the old Faulkner place at Big City. I remember hearing it.
Oh, Faulkner, how I miss you so. Wow, I don't know if I should apologize for that or not, because I know I can be a little bit much when I sing that song, and to get it right, it takes a little bit out of me. I can't always summon it.
I love it. It's powerful, man. It's powerful.
Thank you.
That song it sounded great over the stream, but when you see it live, it's even more.
Thanks.
Yeah, no, it's nice.
So, are you joining us from the East Coast to the West Coast tonight? I know that you spent
I'm in
West Coast.
I've been here since the start of the pandemic.
I knew you had it out, but I don't know if you've been back and forth.
No, just full time.
So what was the inspiration to do the pandemic on the West Coast then?
Well, my my situation was I've been going back and forth with LA and New York. Often my kids are out here.
Right.
So I'd come out here at least once or twice a month to see them while working in New York. And when the pandemic hit, my job, I didn't have to be in an office anymore. I was working fully remote. So it didn't make any sense to be out there. And I let my lease run out and just came out here full time. And we'll be here
Wow.
definitely until they open up offices and tell me to come back.
So are we ever getting you back?
It's been great. Yeah, I
Are
mean,
we-
I love New York. I'm coming back
Okay.
at some point.
Okay.
Um,
I'm just making sure, not to be totally selfish here, but
yeah.
when
Yeah.
Song Club comes back, I want you there with me.
Yeah, I
So
can't wait for it to come back.
So you've been on the West Coast for the entire pandemic, which is wild. I can't imagine spending this last year anywhere but like my own home base, which I was already comfortable with. I can only imagine what it was like to have. I know you've been going out there quite often, but I can only imagine what it was like to acclimate yourself to an entirely new universe.
It's very different, man.
Yeah.
It's very different than New York. I was in Brooklyn the last couple of years, and I miss. I'd love to hear from you what it's been like. Post pandemic, how you felt. A lot of people I know are still there. A lot have left. I get different messages from everybody. Some people are like, "It's great." Other people are like, it's really been tough." And,
I don't know if I describe it as great. What I will say is that we bought a house just before the pandemic and moved in, and we're kind of getting settled in and dealing with all of the emotions and the kind of transitions in life that come along with something like that. And just as things started to feel a little bit like home, it was like, oh, y'all motherfuckers gonna have to stay home all the time now. So for personally speaking, I will say the beginning of the pandemic, while nobody in my house got sick in any way, we were all healthy. While my wife and I both were able to keep our jobs, which so many New Yorkers can't say, the interpersonal shit was an absolute fucking disaster for me. Nobody was sick, everybody had jobs, but it was rough. We learned a lot about ourselves during that time, and I'm guessing people have communicated this to you, and I'm sure it's something that a lot of New Yorkers are going to be processing with therapists for years now. The fucking constant sirens. All day, every day. Sirens. Sirens, sirens, sirens. The numbers were just so high, and so often it was just get them to the hospital, because we knew so little about
it was really
coronavirus and COVID-19.
Those early days were terrifying.
Yeah. So between the numbers being crazy high, I also live in a very, very red neighborhood in Brooklyn. I live in a very old school, conservative, racist, white neighborhood in Brooklyn. So their attitude from the jump kind of played into what a lot of the national attitude from the extreme right was. This is not a big deal. Let's just try to keep things normal, which, despite the chaos around them, mask compliance was never a sure thing in my neighborhood. It was crazy. And we're all public school people in my house. I'm a teacher, my wife's a teacher, and both my kids go to public school. So being given very little guidance from the city other than go the fuck home and do school there. We had as many as 4 schools going on at any one time between the months of March and June, and 4 different schools working on 4 different models, using 4 different schedules. I thank whatever anybody considers holy that my mother-in-law does live with us, and she was able to chip in and help out in terms of getting the boys' school stuff done. But only in the last couple months have things personally started to feel a little not just pandemic fine, but actually kind of like fine. And that feels nice. We know a lot of teachers So, New York City put teachers towards the front of the line in terms of vaccination. So while we're still definitely going out masked and trying to keep our distance, it feels a little more like we can socialize outdoors. Our kids can see some of their friends at the park.
Better slowly.
Yeah,
But
it is.
It seems like we got to. I'm afraid that there's like this false sense of security a little bit kind of going on
Agreed.
right now, and
Yeah.
But you can't blame people for once you're vaccinated and you feel like you want to just go see a friend and go
Right.
do something,
Well, our move since getting vaccinated has been like, yeah, we might see our friends now, but we're still going to wear our fucking masks, and we're still not going inside anybody's houses.
Yeah.
And we're still not taking our kids inside any stores unless we have to. And then it's only going to be fucking 3 minutes in and out. We're still not shopping at the mall. And actually, you know what? We had outdoor table service for the first time since last winter. My wife and I this morning at a fucking pancake shop in Princeton, New Jersey. It was the first time we were looking at each other. It was fucking weird. It was outdoors. We're not eating inside. That shit's crazy. That's just my take. But like the server came over and took our order, and it was a very strange interaction. Like we didn't know what the fuck to do. Like, oh wait, you ask what we want to drink, and then you go away, and then you come back, and then we talk about. I tell you what okay, I think. I mean, I had pancakes, So,
yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I feel like there's some collective trauma that we're all going through that, I don't know. It was tough. It was hard. I mean, the pandemic itself was horrible. Then the whole election, and thank God it turned out the way it did. But that was a brutal time. Just hearing the rhetoric and the talk, and it's just been like a national traumatic.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm the only person on my block that voted blue. If you don't mind me asking, and feel free not to answer on the. Oh, yeah, Manu, somebody has asked that you turn your volume up a little bit. I can try to do it on my end, but you might have to do it a little bit on your end too. If you can give yourself. Thank you, Christy. It sounds okay coming across my computer. Sometimes I can't always tell what's going on.
What about now? Is that okay?
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, that's much better. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Christy, for chipping in. If you don't mind me asking, Manu, please feel free not to answer this on the air. I know that you and your kid's mother have a fairly cordial relationship. Were you able to kind of pod up and be able to see your kids?
Yeah.
The entire thing. Okay, that's
for me. For me, the thing, like prior, like very selfishly, there was a lot of good things I got out of this, experience, which was the main thing, being able to see my kids every day, which was like, I was going back and forth, and as a parent, like how much you must miss your kids when you can't see them, and just being able to be here. And then they were doing, the same thing with them. They had to school at home, so it was just good for me to be here and help out, and split the duties, and it's just been great, in that front. And I can't complain. I got to go to the beach up until December, and just started going again, and it's that side of California you can't really beat,
Yeah. We got to go to the beach a lot too. Actually, it was this summer. We live about 15 minutes from the ocean, so we can get out there before everybody else does. And as soon as it starts getting a little crowded, we can be like, "All right, time to go home and eat breakfast."
Yeah.
So the beach was a godsend.
Yeah,
but I'm guessing your beach is a little nicer than mine.
It's all right.
Yeah. We're
I love the beach.
We get there in
15. Just
15.
have such a good time, and it just wears everyone out, and it's just it's so nice, But
So you were able to actually put out a new EP over the last year, which is awesome. Um, how did this time? It sounds like it was fantastic for you as a dad. How did this treat you as a songwriter? I imagine that you had a different kind of time on your hands than you might have had before.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you feel like you wrote more, wrote less, wrote about the
I haven't
same?
been, I've only just started writing again. At the very beginning, I was writing like in March, April of last year. And then, I had a collection of songs and was like, all right, let me start trying to record these. So, I set myself up with Logic and, an audio interface and mic and started putting some stuff down and kind of narrowed it down to like, four songs or so that I thought I could do an EP with. And just, really focused on recording for like a good, like 2-3 months. I was really anal about like, I tried so many different versions of the same song, some finger picked, some strummed, some I was like,
Yeah,
just all different, just trying to find the right, what I felt worked, right? Like it wasn't even trying to find the right thing. It was just I'd do something. I'd be like, I fucking hate this, and I'd try it again a different way. And it was a little over analysis kind of paralysis thing. And then I worked with this producer who I actually met online. I was looking for producers in LA to kind of help me.
yeah,
And we did everything remotely. I literally have not met this guy, and I would send him guitar parts, vocal parts, harmonies. He'd put in a bunch of stuff. Like he's a super talented musician, multi-instrumentalist,
nice.
and we'd have back and forth. And I'm like, yeah, can you cut that? Can you do this? And it was it was cool being able to do everything fully remotely. But I can't wait to meet the guy just because it was such a, when you make music with somebody, it's it's an experience, and so I can't wait to have a
Yeah.
beer with him. Like once we're both vaccinated fully and we can see each other. So I spent a bunch of time doing that, and only like the last couple months really got back into writing again. And I just kind of fell out of it for a while. I don't know. I just wasn't feeling the the inspiration to write at all. And I
I
kind of
feel
forced
that.
myself. I was like, you know what? Don't wait for the inspiration. Just
I've heard that from so many writers.
you gotta just start writing again. And I got my whatever the voice memo thing back. I got another like 30 song potentials on the voice memo and start my lyrics and going through like the motions again, right?
Yo, those voice memos, that's like either a songwriter's best friend or worst enemy, depending on who you
Yeah,
talk to.
yeah.
Like, is
It
that where
always
ideas go to die?
well
Or is that
there's
where
always like there's always the ones that are like really good and you hear it like 6 months later and you're like, God, that is so good. I got to work on that. And then there's the other ones where you're like, I got to delete this. I don't know what I'll, but,
well,
yes,
whoa, delete a voice memo? I don't think I've ever done that.
yeah, yeah. Well, I just recently moved to voice memos. I was using some other app. I forget what it was called, iTalk, and it shut down on me. I think the company went down, and I literally had hundreds of little snippets, and it completely went away. I've been trying to figure out how to get it back. So now I'm
Oh
on voice memos.
no.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that would drive
It
me
was brutal.
nuts. Um,
Yeah.
so the 4 songs on the new 4 songs EP, are those all new ones that you wrote kind of
No,
at the beginning?
no.
Okay.
The first, let me see. The first two are old songs. Like one,
Okay.
"Go On," I wrote like a year or so, or a year before the pandemic or so, and it was something I was kind of playing at the big city folk nights and playing around with. Um, and "Gravity" was something I had actually written years ago. Like I don't know, almost like 7-8 years ago, and it's in a new form. I used to play it like more like a finger picky kind of folky kind of vibe, and now it's just more of a stromy song. But the other two are new. Those were written like March, April, May of the pandemic.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Well, will you play us a couple songs?
yeah. I'll Should I do two?
Yeah. Let me
back?
get off
Okay.
the screen because nobody needs to see my ass right now. This is all about you for the next little while. Gentlemen and ladies, if you're just tuning in, I'm Chris Q. Murphy, and this is my live stream with my guest, Manu Halati, a.k.a. Magnolia Sky, and he's going to play a couple of songs for you. So take it away.
Cool. I'm going to take these off just because I don't like playing with earbuds. Okay, this is Go On. This is the one we were just talking about. You're still cool memory, still alive deep inside of me. All those dreams that we once shared, where did they go? She said. There's a sadness in everything. Paper hearts hanging on the string. All I ever wanted was a chance to get close. Go on, break me now. It's alright, it's alright. Go on, you can take me now. I'll be yours this whole time. Was it all just a passing dream? You broke my heart, but you set me free. The hardest thing I've ever done is to let you go. Go on, break me now. It's alright, it's alright. Go on, you can take me now. I've been yours this whole time. The more we love, the more we have to lose. The more we love, the more we have to lose. I know I'm lucky now to have lost a love life. Go on, break me now. It's alright, it's alright. Go on, you can take me now. I'll be yours this whole time. All right. Yeah, that was Go On. That was the first song on the EP that came out earlier this year. And this is the second song. This is Gravity. Close the window as the rain begins. The doctor walks out the door. The truth sets in.
never coming back. We just lost the one faith we've always had. We all fall down, we break, we bleed. One day, my love, we'll lose everything. We're falling now. Feel gravity. Time will come. Time will mean nothing. It's just the way you like it. Everyone you love is here. Close your eyes, let this world disappear. Hold my hand, don't be scared. Though you're gone, I'll still carry you here. We all fall down, we break, we bleed. One day, my love, we'll lose everything. We're falling now. Feel gravity. Time will come. Time will mean nothing. When all we are is tumbling down, and all that we have shadows on the ground, and nothing lasts forever. We're learning this now. We're learning this now. We all fall down, we break, we bleed. One day, my love, we'll lose everything. We're falling now. Feel gravity. Time will come. Time will mean nothing. All right. That was Gravity.
All right. Manahuladia, Magnolia Sky, ladies and
Wait,
gentlemen.
one sec.
It's okay.
I
I'm
gotta
just
put
going to
these
talk about how
headphones
awesome
back
you
on.
are. He doesn't
Put
have
these
to hear
back
me.
on.
I'm just talking about how awesome he is. I'm just talking about how
I need
great he
to-
sounds. That's all. All right.
Yeah,
You back?
Sorry. Yeah,
No,
back.
no
I got you on
apologies.
the, I got you on the earbuds.
Woohoo! So, I gotta say, I this is a really weird thing. There's something about that guitar and your voice that just sound perfect together. I love the recording of the new EP. I was saying that to you on text last week. I think it sounds gorgeous and it's simple and straightforward, and the songs are at the center of everything. But there's something really magical. I don't know if that's a guitar you always play or that you write on, but there's something
This is a
special
new
about
guitar.
Whew.
And I know you're a Yamaha guy, right? You're like a,
I-
you're a
in many
Yamaha
ways
fan
I
too?
am, yes. Yeah, I love
I've converted over the last year to just loving Yamaha guitars.
in terms of bang for your buck, they're kind of unbeatable.
Yeah.
Like I have a couple of Yamahas. My classical is a Yamaha, and I swear by it. And my big loud dreadnought is a Yamaha.
Yeah, I bought this. I went through the rabbit hole of like reverb and YouTube videos of like Yamaha FG like 1960s and 70s. Like some guy called it like the poor man's Martin, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go
Yeah.
get one of those. And I ended up getting a 72 like Yamaha FG 180, and it was a disaster, man. Like we had to shave. I had to spend so much time trying to get this thing to just play right.
Yeah. Oh
We
no.
had to we had to shave off the bridge, and because that otherwise I had to do a neck reset, and it was a learning experience, and I loved it, but I ended up sinking so much money into it, and I just couldn't take it anymore. So I went and bought a new one. This is like a brand new, whatever, 2020
Yeah.
FG. But I love these. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, they're really great. Our mutual friend Warren Malone, who is an
I've
incredibly
had some
skilled.
talks about it with him. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. He's a when a seriously skilled luthier who has had several $10,000+ guitars come through his home tells you just to buy the fucking Yamaha.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. He told me the
just,
same thing.
yeah, like
I'm still waiting to buy the FG 830. I just can't, I'm just waiting,
yeah. Well, that's where I got my FG 830 from Warren.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
had like an extra one lying around.
yeah, yeah.
And I had an FG 820, I think it was, that I bought from somebody miraculously for $75 on Craigslist.
Nice.
And I had a pickup that I wanted installed. And he also does this trick on Yamahas that are more than 4 years old, where he shaves the braces back a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Now, when they put the new ones out, the braces are already to where he shaved them. So I said,
Nice.
hey, I want to bring by my Yamaha so you can install this pickup and shave the braces. He's like, how about I just sell you the fucking 830 that I have for $100? And it's got the pickup you want in it already.
Oh, nice.
And I was like,
that's a great friend right there.
yeah, I didn't have $100, but I was like, yes, bring it to Song Club this Thursday. It's mine now. And like, that's my main big guitar. The like my main songwriter instrument is either the Yamaha nylon string or this Martin 00015 that I've had that I bought brand new in like 2000 maybe or 1999.
It's vintage now. It's like a nice vintage.
Yeah, at this point it's vintage. It was brand new at the time. But I saw it in the store, and I thought it was the ugliest fucking guitar I'd seen in my entire life.
I love those mahogany ones, man.
Yeah.
Those like Nile has that, right? Is that?
Yeah, he
has.
has the Dreadnought one.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I remember looking. I was like, "That's a terrible looking guitar. That is a terrible guitar." And then I was like, "I'm going to play that terrible guitar." And I was like, "This is a beautiful guitar." And I left with it 10 minutes later. But
I've always loved those mahoganies. Yeah. I think it's because I'm as a guitar, like one of my guitar heroes is John Frusciante from the Chili Peppers. When I was growing up, when I was a teenager, I used to just learn everything he did. And he plays with he plays with a smaller one, like a 000 maybe 28 or something.
Okay.
But it's all mahogany, like in 1960s now, So I've always loved that guitar or that look,
He's such a unique voice on the guitar. Like there are some things when he's playing in the Chili Peppers, he's not breaking a ton of new ground, but on all of his solo work, his approach to the guitar as an instrument is just absolutely mind. It's barely a guitar sometimes. It's really something special.
Yeah, yeah. He's super out there, I think he's like, could be considered, virtuoso, like up there with like, I don't know, Steve Vai, whatever, like when he first started, he was like he would always play like, I think he was like a Zappa head and like just doing like, really complicated stuff. And then I think when he came back post the, heroin, near death, and he hadn't played guitar in like a decade, and like that's where like you hear all that really like just simple but like melodic and the stuff he did right when he came back in the Chili Peppers, like the what is it like? How's it go? I don't know how to play it anymore. But like,
I know that feeling. Yeah. Oh, there it is. Look at you.
I mean, it's not super complicated, but it's just an arpeggio, but it's just
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's awesome. Yeah. It's hard to do simple things. Yeah, it's okay. So I always struggle with this idea of juxtaposing older material and new material. I feel like it creates a funny context. Not necessarily good or bad, but when you force two things to sit next to each other that come from different periods in your life as a person or as a writer, I know that sometimes it can, again, add a new sort of context to either the new stuff or the old stuff. Is there anything you learned about the songs themselves when you decided to put the two older songs next to the two newer songs when you were putting together the EP? Was there something about them that clicked?
I don't think consciously, like anything, where I was like, there wasn't any theme to the EP. There wasn't any conscious, like, I'm trying to tell a story here. But I think after I put it out and I thought about it, like each song had some element of like loss and change in it, right? And, like Go On is more about a relationship and, it's sort of like, taking the good and the bad and, like whatever, without wanting to sound cheesy, like sort of like, it's better to love and lose than never to love, and just take that, whatever. And then Gravity's about losing someone, like literally, like to losing them because they die, and just having to deal with the concept of like, mortality. And then Ghosts, which I might do later, is really about a relationship just ending, and that. And then I guess the last song is it kind of brings it all together, where it's sort of like trying to come back and like realizing, it's sort of a love song, but it's about someone who's like realizing that, they were not really there in the relationship and they want to try to kind of be there more, now.
Right.
Yeah. Nice.
Well, if anybody is out there looking for it, I want to go ahead and make sure everybody knows what this looks like. If you're out there and looking at Magnolia Sky, if you're a Spotify person or if you're a whatever else person, it looks something like this. It's got this totally gorgeous cover. Is this your own cover art, or do you have somebody designed for you?
It's my own. The photo is not my own. I actually found a photographer and purchased it off them, and then just did the work around it.
Nice. Simple. I love this design. Seriously, it's really great. It is a great photo too. And
did you ever use that photo? Remember you reached out to me about a photo that I took, and you're like, are you going to use that? You think?
I am going to use it. As a matter of fact, I know exactly what I'm going to use it for at this point too. It's something that I'm hoping.
Tell me if you don't want, but.
No, I won't yet. But I'm hoping it's something that's going to come out in the fall. I have a couple things coming out in the next little while.
Awesome.
And there's a project that I'm going to be releasing at some point in the fall, and that is going to be the cover image for it. I absolutely love it. Yes. So we want to play some more songs for us?
Yeah. I might try. I was thinking because we were talking about Big City Folk and safe place for new songs. I might try a new one, but
this is a safe place for new songs. The internet.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
I don't know who's out there listening, but don't be mean.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching the Tuesday Night Live stream with your host Chris Q Murphy and tonight's guest Manu Halati from Magnolia Sky. He's going to play a couple songs for you if you're here because Manu. Go ahead and give me a follow because I do this every Tuesday night. And if you're here because you know me, give Manu a follow over at Magnolia Sky Music so you can hear what he is up to and the music that he continues to make. I'm going to get out of the way and turn the screen over to him. So go ahead and check it out.
All right, this is a new one. I think it's called You're as Free as Your Mind, but it might change. You're as free as your mind. You're as free as your mind. Choose the life that you desire. You're as free as your mind. My brother's lost in shadows of the life that he once had. To a fate to face his demons, he stays locked in the past. Now I look up and see him, 'cause he's just so far away. I wanna tell him that I love him, but he stays locked in the pain. You're as free as your mind. You're as free as your mind. Take the pain, leave it behind. You're as free as your mind. There's a man who wears his grievance like a trophy on a chain. Wouldn't even recognize himself without someone to blame. So he's yelling at the TV, another bottle for the day. When you're so afraid to love, you can't hide behind the hate. But you're as free as your mind. You're as free as your mind. Take the hate, leave it behind. You're as free as your mind. Forgive me for my worries and the days that slipped away. Anything that can be lost was never ours anyway. But if I'm still here tomorrow, I'll give you all I have this time. The presence and the strength to see the love that's in my life. 'Cause we're as free as our minds. We're as free as our minds. Take our worries, leave them behind. We're as free as our minds. You're as free as your mind. You're as free as your mind. All right. Should I do one more, Chris? I don't know. If you don't jump back on right now, I'm going to assume yes. If you do,
Yeah, play another. Yes.
Okay. All right. Cool. This one's also off the EP. It's a long ride home on a cold winter night. You sit silent, staring at the city lights. We don't need to say a word. We both know the truth.
I will be a ghost to you. You say you'll stay the night, your kids are with your ex. I got a new case of wine, a half pack of cigarettes. We will hide the elephant and get lost in my room. But come the morning, I will be a ghost to you. I'm always focused on disaster. I can't let go of the past. Even when I'm laying here right next to you, you can feel it's not where I am. Know it's over, but tonight we'll both pretend. Turn the lights down low, hold on to what is left. Close my eyes so I don't see what I know is true. Come the morning, I will be a ghost to you. Come the morning, I will be a ghost to you.
Awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Manu Hilati of Magnolia Sky. That was fantastic, dude. Absolutely
Thanks, man.
gorgeous. And the recorded version of that song is really special. There's something really like magical about the version of that EP. I can't really put my finger on it exactly. I mean, it's a great
Thank you so
performance,
much, man. Thank you.
but there's an actual little sparkle there. You know.
Thank you.
So is there anything else in this universe aside from you wanting people to listen to the new EP, which is called 4 Songs, that people can find wherever you stream things? Is there anything else you'd like the world to know about or to check out before we head out tonight?
You know, I did put out a cover song. Like it was going to actually be, it was going to be a bit
yes,
part of a
you
big
did.
project, but I did put out a cover song of Mazzy Star, which you can check out as well.
Yeah.
That I've been getting some good, response, too. But
Yes.
that's about it. And and just treat each other kindly. Whoever's, that's the only other thing I'll ask of people.
I gotta say, that's a pretty iconic song you chose to cover there, and I appreciate your guts in doing so. Like you didn't go for the Mazzy Star deep cuts there. You went for the single. And that's awesome, dude.
Yeah,
It sounds.
Maybe I'm gonna, need to ask myself. I don't know, but you just do it. Yeah.
No, it's great, dude. I love it. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen,
thank you. Thank you.
Go
so
ahead.
much, Chris. No,
Of
I was just
course.
gonna say thank you. Thanks for having me on. I like the haircut, by the way. I think it's really cool.
Thank you.
New, right?
This is
You
fun.
look
Yeah,
good. You
yeah.
look sharp. You look.
It was
you
time.
look
It was
smooth.
time.
Yeah.
They took a little too much off the beard. I wasn't gonna let the
I like it.
guy touch the beard, but he talked me into it. Thanks. He brought it way back. What I did want to say to everybody that's still out there and watching, obviously this is my fantastic guest, Magnolia Sky, aka Manu Hilati. Please make sure you follow his stuff if you came here because you know me. If you came here because you know Manu, please give me a follow because we're here every Tuesday night. We got another big city folk friend up next Tuesday. Bex Arcana is going to be here with us doing her thing. Fantastic songs. Always fantastic things to say. I hope everything stays great for you over with you and the family on the West Coast, Manu. I hope to see you soon. And everybody out there, take good care of one another, just like he said, whether they agree with you or not. Have a great week, everybody, and I will see you on the other side.
Cheers. Thank you, Chris.